Hi, my name is Ezekiel Pearson,
And my name is Maxwell Ritter.
and today we're here to show you guys Parallel. What is Parallel? In Parallel, your job is to fight your way through enemies, traverse different landscapes, and find the thief. With various weapons, tools, and allies, you will fight your way through multiple worlds at once.
So, what is this game? Well, our genre is a 2D side scrolling shooting platformer. Our rating is T for teen, and the core game mechanics are centered around targeting and shooting enemies as you explore different locations. Players can switch different weapons, pick up health tokens, travel to different universes using the parallel crystals. The three words we use for this game to really define it are parallel, agent, and crystal. They're our core ideas. The goal of the game is to capture the universal thief and fix the damage that she caused.
Our ideal audience is
People who enjoy side-scrolling shooters, people who looking for a light narrative-driven experience, and people who enjoy unique, innovative game and classic genres.
Our inspiration comes from a lot of different places. Sci-fi things like Rick and Morty. Gameplay-wise, Mega Man has always been a big inspiration for side-scrolling shooters, and the whole warping dimensional sort of style of thing was very inspired by Marvel's Loki, where they go to all these different dimensions that are similar but different.
Our concept image basically this shows like the whole idea of what we're trying to make. As you play as the parallel agent on the left, trying to bring order to the multiverse, you also have the opposing side, which is the Universal Three, who've been causing disaster throughout the multiverse.
Our gameplay diagram looks a little bit like this. It shows the different types of actions that are in the game. Your goal is to catch the thief at the end of the goal, so you have to make sure that there isn't any enemies blocking your path as you move forward. The portal hop is our unique idea that we're working on to allow the player to switch the game area to the opposite world. In the prototype, we created effect cards that are some of the things you would encounter in the game. Uh, but for the updated version, we added an effect card that allows the player to hop onto another route, sort of signifying that idea of jumping between the worlds, and that they can take those different paths to reach their goal. We have an idea where you could also play as the thief, and instead of the goal being to capture yourself, the goal is to obviously to capture the primary crystal at the end. But our gameplay diagram is basically you move, and while moving, you decide to slide and shoot, dodge and jump, all these cool actions. If you run into an enemy, you have to decide what you're going to do. And as you move along, you'll also encounter things like weapon pickups, health pickups, swap through portals, and upgrade your weapons. And ultimately, you'll move through all of your enemies to get to your goal.
Our game mechanics, players can use and buy select agency weapons to take out any rogue threats. Players also have a parallel crystal, which allows them to shift the battle to another universal zone. Players can use the gravity boost to walk on strong surfaces, so they could be like able to walk on walls and stuff. Players can also use different other items like the rocket boost that gives them a better chance to jump higher. Players can shoot, run, slide to maneuver the dangers that lie ahead. Since this game is PC, it will utilize PC aspects, basically WASD.
The main goal for the player is to complete the levels and defeat the thief. Your sub goals along the way are things like finding out the reason the thief is after the primary crystals and collecting the crystals along your way before the thief can get them all.
Feedback. For the audio section, we're focusing more on a sense of urgency with a mix of techno for the music. For visual aspects, the animations are going to be done in more pixel art, while any type of notifications for the players like would be done with a shaking of the camera.
to emphasize any danger or problems that the player might face during the gameplay.
The things that players can adjust in the accessibility is the captions, the resolution adjustments, and that's about it so far.
For the platform, we're going to put it on PC. Our control scheme is a basic WASD movement: W up, A left, S down, D right. Spacebar is your shoot button, Z will be your interact, C will reload your gun, X will be grenades or special items. Your shift is your run to move faster, and enter is your pause screen where you'll be able to adjust your options.
Our unique selling point. In parallel, players will be allowed to shift between different dimensions. Basically, they'll be able to shift into different areas that are so unique in their own design that they look like they go into another universe in that sense. This allows the player to traverse in different hospitable types of environments, changing the actual gameplay as they go through. This will allow us for a new level of interactions and depths in the game mechanics because it allows us to be more creative and kind of imaginative as we keep on going through this horizon.
Any questions?
Nope. This was our testing phase. Basically, when I started off working on this, I was thinking more of this is an adventure game that switches between 2D, 3D, and basically became a 2.5D. So I had to find a way to do this in the actual game. But I was trying to figure out how to do this in the actual prototype of the game because I had no idea how would I reference any of the things that go on the actual game to the prototype. But soon we found a way. This was the idea of the physical prototype at the beginning, where you just start off right here and you're trying to make your way all the way to the goal. You have enemies that blocks your way. The only way to like get past the enemies is to take them out. There was things like where we talked about effect cards. They were basically your items or things that was in your way that the probability of you getting this effect card was resulting in during your time when you was fighting in the game. And basically the weapon cards were based off of the different weapons you pick up during your gameplay.
So for playtesting, I went along and went ahead and playtested with my parents. The video's a bit long. We did several sessions testing out different mechanics and ideas here and there.
Backlog content. Game theme: science fiction, fantasy, action, shooting, adventure. Game mood: serious and dramatic.
For our plot summary, you're a parallel agent. It's your job to stop people from traveling to other universes and disrupting the multiverse as a whole. Everything's been smooth and easy until one assignment where you're transporting an S-level criminal to your agency. But what you didn't know is that it was exactly what she had planned. She quickly destroyed the HQ and released a bunch of dangerous universal criminals. And she also makes off with a special crystal called the Primary Crystal. When put together with the other 3 crystals, it gives the user the power to rewrite the entire multiverse. It's your job to recapture this thief and bring her to justice. We also have a separate mode that we're working on where you can play as the thief and cause the chaos yourself.
The UI mockup. Here we have a mockup for the game's UI. Basically the main menu, a mini map, shield, health, and weaponry.
For our core systems, we have a point system where you accrue points as you go along, using them to purchase things. You have a portal system where in levels there will be portals you can hop through, which will cause you to shift between dimensions. We have a shop where you can spend those points, and an inventory where you will keep all of the things you've bought at the shops or collected along the way. Your core mechanics are movement, so jumping, sliding, running. Shooting is the main method of attacking things. We have our enemy AIs and our ally AIs. Allies will help you to fight off the enemies, and the enemies will try to fight you. Upgrading items and being able to buy them.
This was the level concept. Whereas you start off right here as you progress through the game. You shoot off the enemies, and basically these would be like the points where you teleport to another location where the level is completely different. Or you just teleport back to this level that you came from.
Our intended aesthetics are an overall science fiction theme. We want to get with this kind of idea of a future society where these sort of multiverse traversing things are possible. We're trying to get a more intense, action-y kind of mood going. So a lot of very intense music and visuals are going to help us get that done. Dark and neon color palettes to sort of force in that idea of this is the future, but it's also kind of dark and grim, and things aren't looking great for your character.
The development technology that we're focusing to make all this is Unity, Photoshop, Illustrator, Wise, Audition, and GitHub.
And here's our reference page.
Thank you for joining us on this ride, and have a good night.
Thank you.